Hey guys, it's Michael. I have a quick update for you on the second stimulus check and second stimulus package. We're going to go over a hard deadline that Congress must meet. They have no choice but to pass additional money by this date. But today's video, we're first going to go over how researchers in Hong Kong are reporting the first confirmed case of reinfection with the virus. Then we're going to get into how the Republicans are focused right now on the party convention unfolding this week and how this could delay the second stimulus check from passing. However, we do have a guaranteed deadline coming up for more money to be passed, and this is the next most logical date for us to see more stimulus money. And finally, we're going to go over what Meadows said on Sunday about the status of the second stimulus package and new updates here. But before we get started, it would really mean a lot if you could like the video down below and subscribe to my channel so you could stay up to date on the second stimulus check, second stimulus package, as well as other news updates. It currently says that 70% of you watching this are not subscribed to my channel. So if you'd like to stay up to date on what is going on with the second stimulus check, second stimulus package, well then please be sure to subscribe so you can be notified when new videos come out. Also, don't forget, you can get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400 when you download the Webull investing app using the link down below. Please let me know in the comments which 2 stocks you get and if you get $1,400 in free stocks or how much you receive. Also, you can get $5 immediately when you download the Acorns investment app. So before we get into the specific deadline and the deadline that they must have a stimulus package by, we're first going to go over how researchers in Hong Kong are reporting the first confirmed case of reinfection with the virus. An apparently young and healthy patient had a second case of the virus, which was diagnosed 4.5 months after the first time he had the virus. The 33-year-old man, who's said to have the virus 2 times now, only had mild symptoms the first time and had no symptoms the next time around. However, the reinfection was discovered when he returned from a trip to Spain, and the researchers said that the virus they sequenced closely matched the strain circulating in Europe in July and August. This report is a huge concern and is very bad news because it suggests that immunity to the virus may only last a few months in people, and researchers were hoping that there was going to be a longer lasting immunity to the virus after someone had contracted it. They thought it would be a few years, and someone who got it once would be immune for a couple of years. But now this is suggesting that immunity only lasts a couple of months and people can get the virus for a second time. This has implications for vaccines being developed for the virus and could pose a threat moving forward. Next up is Republicans are focused right now on the Republican Party convention, which is unfolding this week, at which President Trump will be formally renominated to be the party's standard bearer in the fall's presidential election. So it's a good bet that the coming days likely won't be the best opportunity for bipartisan productivity in Congress and for a second stimulus bill to be passed. That means, unfortunately, Americans will have to wait even longer for the prospect of congressional leaders approving funding for new stimulus checks and virus relief payments. However, we do have good news and specific details on a timeline for the next relief package, a hard deadline that the Congress must meet. Congressional leaders could have an agreement on the virus relief package by September 30th, and they have to have more money passed by September 30th, according to Congressman Tom Cole. This is a very important date because Congress has to come to an agreement to pass more funding for the federal government by September 30th, 2020, or else we would have a government shutdown. Government shutdowns in the U.S. occur when there is a failure to pass funding for legislation to finance the government for its next fiscal year, or a temporary funding measure which ends on September 30th. During a government shutdown, the government stops all non-essential services, while essential services such as the armed forces, border protection, air traffic controllers, and police and fire departments will continue to operate. So this is a date, September 30th, where both sides, both the Democrats and Republicans, have to come to an agreement by to pass more funding for the federal government. So that means they could include stimulus measures in this package as well. Cole explained how he believes an agreement on the stimulus funding will definitely occur before the September 30th date. He explained how he thought we would have an agreement before now and that we would already have one, but now the next logical time frame is September 30th, when Congress will have to put a continuing resolution in place to keep the government operating through the end of the year. They're going to have to pass more money to keep the government going. That is a must-pass piece of legislation on September 30th, he said, and that if we want to come to a deal, that's where we can attach things for the second stimulus package for it to pass. He goes on to say that he thinks it would be a gigantic mistake for Congress to go home at the end of September without another relief package. It's a political malpractice on both sides. He said there's already an agreement on $100 billion for schools and education, and there's an agreement on a one-time $1,200 direct stimulus check for households making less than $100,000 a year. So he said we could look for at least these two things to be included in a bill for more funding for the federal government. So essentially what's going on is that the government needs more funding by September 30th to ensure it can continue to operate next year, because the government's fiscal year ends September 30th. So what a lot of senators and Tom Cole is saying right now is that they can include direct stimulus measures that they already agree on this date, because we know by this date on September 30th, they have no choice but to pass more money. Otherwise, the government will shut down and all non-essential services in the government will be shut down. So according to Congressman Cole, he said this is the next most logical date. And finally, Mark Meadows said on Sunday, when you look at the bill that was passed on Saturday by the House, that was not a serious bill. He said it's $25 billion. It doesn't do anything to sustain the Postal Service long term. He said that it's going nowhere, and he asked, why did they come back on Saturday and only do a deal for the Postal Service? Why did they not come back to Washington and do a deal with enhanced unemployment benefits, money for the PPP program, direct stimulus checks? He says it makes no sense that they came back just to pass money for the Postal Service. Meadows goes on to explain that the president is willing to pass a bill, as we have heard previously, as long as it includes direct stimulus measures in it. And ultimately, he goes on to say that because Republicans and the White House don't believe that the postal bill is a serious bill, the Senate has no plans to come back to Washington to vote on the House's USPS funding bill or come back to DC before the end of the August recess, which is in effect until after Labor Day. So anyways, that's just a quick update on what is going on with the second stimulus check and second stimulus package. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to get your 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400 when you download the Webull investing app using the link down below, and get $5 immediately when you download the Acorns investment app as well. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video down below, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.